listening to the Possibility Show podcast.
Hey, friends and coaches, welcome back to the Possibility Show. And I am here back, and I'm so grateful because I have her for the second time around. And she's one of the people that I really look up to. Um, people that have inspired me to really live um, a better life, a life bigger than who I can see myself. And she's been like a great mentor, coach, and she's also my NLP trainer. And she was a guest previously in the Possibility Show in season 2, episode 8. We did talk about performance, high performance, how to overcome adversities, and also at the same time a little bit talking about NLP. And today I have her back here in order to really talk about more in details and deeper how NLP is the best tool for coaches to have in their toolkit. Because as you have been listening to my content right now, really understanding how to get better at building your coaching business, but of course at the same time it includes your skills and how you can be better as a coach, because then that will create that word of mouth referral and how you create results in the market. And that's why we have Heidi here, Heidi Heron, and thank
Oh,
you for being
hello.
back.
Yeah, thank you for
Heidi,
having me.
yes, it's I'm so grateful. And if I miss anything you want to add into that introduction.
I think you covered it really well. I think that also, you being able to pick up and run with these NLP skills and I think connect with them as well as you did is amazing. They are, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, they're everyday type of skills for life, but from a coaching context, they just make all the difference in the world. And I've been involved in NLP since 1997. So that's a lot longer than some people have even been alive. And it is, I'm not sure that there's anything that other than like driving, I'm not sure that there's much skill base that I've done for this long of time. And every day I'm growing, every day I'm using NLP. If I'm using it with my clients or just with myself or in life or with family and friends, but I'm excited to share more today.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think for the new, especially the new listeners and those who haven't heard of NLP before, maybe we can start from there, like creating that context. And what is
Sure.
NLP, right? What is NLP?
You bet. So I'm going to answer that question of what is NLP from a coaching context, because I might have a different answer if I'm talking to a parent or talking to a
Mm,
leader, an entrepreneur, or just from a personal development standpoint. So, from a coaching standpoint, as a coach, NLP is my tool to utilize with my clients. It's a coaching modality that I use with my clients. Ultimately, my definition is to understand how the language of the mind creates those programs that we run in life. And our clients run all kinds of programs: motivation, demotivation, stress, frustration, curiosity, confusion, clarity, overwhelm. And I want to figure out with my clients those patterns that are getting them stuck. Where do those patterns come from? How do we address them? How do we change them? What does somebody want? And those patterns that help people, that motivation, that curiosity, that drive, how do we tap into that and utilize those unconscious motivators more consciously? So a simple tool, maybe not simple, there's a lot to it, but it is pretty simple at the end of the day once you know what you're doing. A tool to understand how the language of your mind creates the patterns and programs you run in life. When we know that, we can enhance what's going on, we can change what's not going well, and we can create new patterns of emotions, beliefs, behaviors, and thoughts to help somebody get to where they want to go. Must have tool for a toolbox.
amazing. And would you say that, for example, for a coach who let's say they've started their journey and they've learned some coaching skills, asking questions and things like that. So what makes different from whatever they've started learning?
Yeah. I've done some traditional coaching courses in my past. I also hold my doctorate in clinical psychology, so I have that marriage of traditional psychology and counseling and traditional coaching. And NLP bridges the gap. So traditional coaching really focuses, and there's lots of tools that a traditional coach might learn that they'll also learn when they learn NLP. So if anybody's watching this now going, I haven't done a traditional coaching course, do I need to? No, not necessarily. Most people who've done a coaching course and then learn NLP generally go, well, why didn't I just start with NLP?
Mm.
And people that start with NLP and their thought is, I'll do NLP and then a coaching course, generally never go and do the coaching course. They just continue on and do the NLP coach certification. So the main difference is in the techniques. So from a coaching course, you're going to learn how to connect with your client, learn some questioning techniques, learn some strategies to help motivate, mentor, and help keep your clients accountable. However, if your clients have some of those unconscious patterns that are holding them back, beliefs that are unresourceful, behaviors that are unresourceful, stuckness, lack of motivation, lack of drive, traditional coaches and most coaching courses just say, keep asking them questions, keep motivating them, keep coming back to the plan, keep getting them moving. But if there's any unconscious stuff, technical term here, that's holding somebody back from continuing on, a general coach doesn't have those skills. And there's also a train of thought that says if there's any emotional stuff coming up, depression, anxiety, fear, apprehension, refer that on to a therapist or a psychotherapist or a counselor.
Right.
In NLP, we hold that. We keep that because that's just a part of our client. So you will have the tools instead of referring on, you have the tools to delve into that stuff and help your client holistically. You know, I have a referral for clients and it's a coaching school. And when their clients, the coaching school, when their clients have emotional stuff that comes up, they refer their clients to me with the idea that their clients then will go back to them. Their clients don't go back to them.
Okay.
Because NLP is encompassing. It covers everything, not just the desired state, but where you're at now, how you got there, and how to move through it.
And that's something that I really love, like from my own experience about NLP and going through, maybe from practitioner until getting certified as an NLP coach and therapist, is the comprehensiveness of it. Like
Yeah.
the to be able to have all of that, as part of my toolkit. And I want to start from that big picture, like, because I'm a big picture person, so it's easier for me. But having that comprehensiveness, I think that's some people might feel overwhelmed because they have, like, a lot of things. They learn a lot of things from NLP, but then I appreciate it so much because it makes me so flexible and to be able to handle different situations that the clients bring to me. And could you speak more into that comprehensiveness and like the benefits of
Yeah.
having that?
Indeed. If you like variety of any kind, you will find it through coaching with NLP. So there are a lot of coaches, even NLP coaches, that niche. And I think that there's benefit from a marketing standpoint to niche because it's easier. I can work with, building confidence and helping people build confidence, or women entrepreneurs who are breaking into a new mold, or people going through transition. And I can create a program with NLP strategies and tools. I can market easily to those niches, but also I can be a generalist. Like I've been coaching therapy. We probably should ask the question, what is coaching? Because the focus of even what is coaching and who do I help as a coach has dramatically changed over the past decade. when coaching became a thing, I'll come back to your question in a second, but when
Sure.
coaching became a thing, it was predominantly goal-based, and it was in the life coaching realm, and then business coaching and executive coaching. It was usually about, I want to achieve this outcome, help me create a plan, help motivate me, help keep me accountable to that.
Yeah.
And I think in the past decade, 10 years or so, 8 to 10 years, it's kind of transformed a little bit into anyone that helps people from a therapeutic or coaching or health or life or work or balance now calls themselves a coach.
Mm.
And I really appreciate that, because it's given more people the opportunity to say, hey, I can get some help. I can ask for a coach. So more people are seeking the assistance of a coach. And I don't care what they call me, because I'm going to use
Mhm.
my toolbox and have total variety. In a given week, let's just talk about this week. I've worked with a few people that have depression, someone that had a fear of heights, 3 people that we were working on their business and their business plan and getting to that goal, but we were working on more of one of them was specifically, what do you want, and starting to create that goal. One of them was about this apprehension. Another one was about perfectionism. A person that I saw just before now is having a lot of emotional roller coaster because she had a shift in her life a couple of years ago with her family, and she's met some the best word, anniversary dates of some family issues. And so that's brought up this emotional roller coaster. It's just amazing. Anything that happens without us, which would be called unconscious, we don't have that conscious thought about it, NLP can assist. If that's boosting resources or clearing and changing old patterns, if it's collapsing anchors, a stimulus that creates a reaction, creating goals, just talking through something. And another client I worked this week, two clients I worked this week. One, he's having some issue with his family and a conversation that he wants to have. So we did a coaching conversation using the NLP tools in order to help him have that conversation. And another girl had a conversation with someone in her workplace that she was feeling really distraught over and wanted to sever the entire relationship. And I utilized a process called perceptual positions so that we could look at this from different perspectives, from different perspectives, and had her step into herself and the other person she was having conflict with and the fly on the wall, and realized that she was taking personally what her colleague was taking personally, and none of it was about each other.
Mm.
So the variety of things that you and I work with our clients is amazing. So by all means, you can niche, but most likely the clients, like my clients, come either from referrals or Google. Those are the places that my clients come from. They Google something or it's referral. And I would say 90% referral, 10% Google.
Wow.
And the referral is, she helped me go and see her. And it's no longer about a niche. It's no longer in a stream. It's no longer a program. It's very generalist. Personally, I love that.
Okay. And it's something that I really, like always have amazed me. Like, being someone who is new to this practice, this industry. And like what you said, niching is one of the ways to do that in order to get known in the market. And I will share like how I'm actually using, the variety or the comprehensiveness of NLP in my niche. But what I really look up to you is that ability to, hearing all these stories from clients that you've helped. Like it's so vast. It really ranges like so big, and knowing that for myself really feels good that I have the same tools that you have because you've taught them to me, right?
Right.
And not only like I can use that not limited to my profession, but also to other people. Like like I've used it having conversations with family, who are having relationship issues, for example, and I'm not like, that's not my niche, right? And that's really, really comforting, and it feels good to have that kind of, like, possibility. I love that, like
Yeah.
having yeah, those tools. But at the same time, like we said, I want to highlight this, and I think for coaches to hear this as well. At the end of the day, it's about helping them, you know, solve the problems that they have to get that transformation. And
Yeah.
and all those marketing terms, niche, and all these things, it just helps you as a coach reach out to the ideal client that you want to work with,
Correct.
right? But at the end of the day, you just want to, like, really, have that impact and help them. And I
Correct.
see that from you, like you create that every single day, and that's just amazing.
Yeah. Because
And
I think that if I had to say, like, what is my niche is NLP coaching.
mm,
It's not a specific topic that I help people with, but it's that unconscious transformation of anything. And I'm helping my clients reach their desired state, because we all start, every single one of your clients that walk in the door or jump onto your screen, they have their present state, where they're at right now and how they got there. And that might include fears and apprehensions and joy and restlessness and uncertainty and creativity and clarity and uncertainty, all of that stuff. But they also have the desired state of what they want. And then my job is to help uncover what are those interferences that are standing in the way, and what resources or attitudes, attributes, and skills do they want to do they need to get to that desired state. And then my NLP toolbox, if I reach into it, like one of those beautiful carpet bags in Mary Poppins that you can get anything out of, I've got tools that will help us to clear beliefs. I've got tools that help create new behaviors. I've got tools to help add and boost our confidence and resourcefulness. So that becomes my job through questions and specific step-by-step techniques and metaphors and stories I share, or just how I say something helps my client to move to their desired state. That's my job. Doesn't matter what their outcome is. I don't need to know how to solve their problem. They have all the resources they need. My job is to help them find them and to help uncover what doesn't need to be there, remove what doesn't need to be there. That's it.
one
She
other
said,
thing that
that's it.
that's it. One other thing that I also think differentiates NLP is the unconscious way, like, tapping into the unconscious, and having all the tools, the frameworks, and which I all love. At the same time, uh, working on the unconscious part of the client or the person.
Mhm.
And could you share more about this? Like, why do we do that? Like, what's the reason? What's the rationale behind that?
Mhm. So we've got our conscious analytical thinking mind that, I don't know who did the studies, but what they said is that our conscious mind only makes up about 10% of our mind. The rest of it, that other 90%, is our unconscious mind, that not non-thinking subconscious mind, subconscious, unconscious, non-conscious, call it what you want. In NLP, we predominantly call it unconscious mind.
Unconscious.
This is that part of your mind that everything happens in. You don't think about getting scared, you just get scared. Similarly, you don't think about when you get hot, you don't go, hey, body, can you sweat now? It just happens. It's unconscious. So the patterns that we have, the why we do what we do, is because we've got unconscious patterns that uphold it. And each of those patterns is there to serve us. It's never there to hold us back, it's there to serve us. One of the clients that I worked with earlier today, he started his own business. He was in a family business that he recently left, and he started his own thing. And his idea is, I want balance in my life. And for him, balance means less time in the business, more time with his kids, more time with his wife, more time with his family and his friends and himself. Well, he's feeling guilty. So he said, I'm really feeling guilty about having all this time. And I even, I took my daughter to school today, and then I have this call with you. So I called my team and I was justifying where I'm at and I'm feeling guilty. And so I asked him, if you could communicate with that guilt, what is its purpose? And he said, it just wants me to do my best. It doesn't want me to slow down. It doesn't want me to lose out. Now, consciously, he's not thinking that, but unconsciously, this guilt is coming in, and I can understand. I'm a high achiever. I had to learn how to stop for a moment and smell the roses and appreciate the moments. I came from, my first real job. I don't know that it was a real job. I was like 14 years old, but it was McDonald's. And I learned, if you've got time to lean, you've got time to clean. So I learned, don't stop, keep going, keep going. So he's probably got something like that going on in the unconscious mind. So we need to address those patterns, because otherwise now he's got guilt. And if he feeds the guilt, it probably means he does more, which means he doesn't have balance. So we want to work with the unconscious mind, not the conscious mind, not the reasons for it, not the what conscious strategies can I do, but changing those things at the unconscious level. A client that I worked with yesterday, we were just talking about her growth and her change. And she's done a lot of stuff. I think we've had 5 or 6 sessions together. And she, when I first met her, if you brought up any kind of controversy or conflict or disagreement, she would run. She would freeze or run. That fight or flight mechanism in her was strong. And she said that the other day she went to the car wash and drove into this, car wash that just washes your car. You don't have to get out of it. And she's like, hey, there's a spot. So she just drove in, and then she looked over and somebody was knocking at her window, yelling at her. She unrolled the window and he's like, there's a queue. You have to get in the queue. What are you doing? And she said, she just went, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll leave. And so she drove out and she went around the block and she came and got back in the queue. And then as she was sitting there in her car, she went, oh, that was different. Because before she would have cried or frozen or something, and she just went, oh, I'm sorry. So we worked with her unconscious patterns, those ones that she's not even consciously aware of. And she's now doing things different and recognizing it 3 or 4 or 5 minutes later that, oh, I did that differently. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Amazing. And that's something that I like want to tap into your experience, because I've been in this, like, I'm a baby compared to you basically. And the unconscious side of things, and sometimes, and this is just based on my experience as well,
Sure.
is that sometimes they do attribute that into, like, oh, this is the work that I've done, like in the coaching session. And sometimes they don't, like, because it's totally unconscious, like when we worked on it. And how do you, like, all throughout your years, how did you take it on? Like, how did you manage that? Because I feel I still have, like, that attachment to, like, hey, that's the thing that we worked on, but you don't even remember. You know what I mean?
It's not about me. It's not about me. Their journey is their journey. It's individual to them. And, if somebody's like, yeah, I made this change, but it was because I changed my diet, I'll go, okay, maybe. And to them, I'll go, that's great. I'm so happy you changed your diet. Inside, I'm like, but we also did all this other work. And probably the culmination of everything is good. And personally, I don't really care where they come up with the change from or what they attributed it to, because it's not about me. But I know that because of the work that I do with NLP and the space I hold and the rapport that I've got and the rapport that you've got with your clients and that space you hold with your clients and the tools you've got, that client might have changed their diet, but without the work that we did, it wouldn't have had the same effect.
For sure. And I mean, I'm confident in that as well. It's just that, like, coming from, and I'm sharing this because there might be some new coaches out there
Yeah.
who might be experiencing the same thing. And I've gotten, like, over that feeling, and I've kind of like design my own coaching business in a way that it would suit, my own preference.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like, in terms of business perspective, it would be nice, and that's how I was thinking previously. It would be nice if they can attribute it to the coaching session, because then it's easier to refer clients and things like that.
Well, in one of the things that we do, so in our full coach certification, so we have an ICF, an international accredited coach certification, and
Yes.
it includes, it's about a 6 to 10 month entire program that starts with the NLP level 1, the practitioner certification, includes a variety of different NLP and coach specific training. One of the things that we teach in there in a program called Coaching Foundations is how to structure the sessions. So from the time that you meet a client to the time you know you're done with the client, how do you utilize NLP to help people? How do you structure it? And one of the things that we teach in there is setting a what we call a KPI for a session KPI, or key performance indicator. So at the beginning of every one of my sessions, and by everyone I mean like 95% of them, most of my sessions, then you would hear something like, so in today's session, what do you want to achieve? Or if I already know what's planned because I've done my client summary form and I know some of the interferences, if, for example, today we're clearing the fear of having or getting it wrong, then I would open up and say, well, in today's session, the next thing that I want to look at is this fear of getting it wrong or needing to have everything right, perfectionism. Does that seem like a thing that you would be relevant to work on? Yes. Okay. So by the end of today's session, if we clear that perfectionism and that need to get it right, how will you notice? And then a variety of other questions. So we set up this key performance indicator statement that basically says, by the end of today's session, we're going to do this. You'll know it by this, and we'll test it by this. So at the end of the session, we check in on that KPI. And they go, yeah, I got there, or I got closer to there. And then they know that they got something from that session. You know, and especially for new coaches, this is great because you know, as the coach, I got somewhere, I helped my client. And they're more likely to come back because they got something. You moved them towards what they want, and they're more likely to refer you as well. And this entire game of getting clients is, how do I spend the first few years attracting clients who will refer me?
Yeah.
Because I haven't marketed for clients. Like I said, referrals in Google. I haven't marketed for clients in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
I did in the beginning. But
Yeah,
in the beginning,
I remember your story about the flyers and stuff.
I had flyers. We didn't have things like websites. That makes me feel really old. And Google and Facebook and Insta. We didn't have social media. We had to do it old school. But the aim of it is to attract those clients, get your name out there, to create referrals. That's what you're after in the long run.
And yeah, the one of my guests in the previous episode is Tammy, who's also in NLP.
Yeah.
And one of the things she said is to really to get out there and practice, and that's how you kind of like, build your reputation, your brand out there, is to really do the coaching itself and create that transfer, help people. That's what.
But I think the
I
practice does more than just that. The practice helps you to build your competence as a coach. Yeah. And from the competence comes confidence. And what I see of new coaches, regardless if they're NLP coaches or not, they try and create confidence before competence. And that never lasts for very long.
Okay. Got it. And you did start to mention about, the whole structure of how someone who wants to become a coach would go through the whole process with you, and starting from NLP practitioner all the way through getting certified ICF, which is exactly what I did. And yeah, that's the next topic that I want to really talk to you about. and how does that structure, I mean, I have my own answer, but I want to hear yours. How does that structure really help someone who is in that journey of getting certified as a coach?
Yeah. Well, can I answer it based on how I created the program? Because
Yes,
I think
please.
that's a better answer than just a boxed one of what does a coach certification give you?
Yeah.
Because I looked at what does a coach certification give to people. And the answer for most people was a piece of paper, but not a lot of competence that builds confidence. It was a piece of paper that then they had to go and still build that competence and create the confidence.
And there's
said-
more of that nowadays. Like, like $200, $300, you get certified.
$19.95 you can get certified. $7.95. I mean, they're all over the place. And you have a piece of paper that goes, I am a coach. But what does it mean? Nothing. And I was adamant that I wanted to make a difference in this field because these tools of NLP are phenomenal. And coaching, therapy, whatever you want to call it, is phenomenal. Being able to help people, being able to help people see themselves, understand themselves, love their life, and achieve their goals. Hello. But if I just have a piece of paper, I don't necessarily know how to do that. And there's a lot of people that are, how do you say it? They are those go-to people. They're probably going to be great coaches. And they start doing this coaching thing and they're probably good. They may or may not be successful because they may or may not be certified. I don't necessarily know if being certified is important. To me, certification means the piece of paper.
Yep.
But the piece of paper that you get from NLP Worldwide, the one that has my signature on it, I wanted to make that mean something. I wanted to, is not a course necessarily for the faint heart. It's not hard. It takes some time. It takes some dedication. It takes learning and growth. It takes being prepared to get it wrong and learning. Because over the course of 6 to 10 months, might take up to a year, you are learning and growing. It's not just let me learn some skills and let me go and use it. One of the fundamental pieces is the program that we call Coach Building Blocks. And the Coach Building Blocks is where you'll spend a lot of time recording coaching sessions with friends and family and fellow students, submitting those, benchmarking it based on a benchmark of best practicing core competencies, so that you're getting feedback from us as well as yourself about what you're doing really well and what you can do to improve. You send in a total of somewhere between, it's like 9 to 14 videos and audios of yourself coaching, and you get benchmarked and you get assessed, not to shred you, to build you. Because the intention is so that you can be the best coach for your clients that you can be, so that when you get that piece of paper with my signature on there, I know that you know that I know that you know what you're doing. Which builds the competence, which builds the confidence, which builds the joy. I would say that's the biggest difference between our coach certification and others, is it is skill-based. It is demonstrate your skills. Not everybody passes. Lots of people have to redo their assessments. I don't know if you ever had to redo some of your assessments, Jovan, but most people
I did.
But it's not just the certification. Lots of them are just like when I did some of my NLP training, even when I did some of my coach certification, I would just send in an assessment. It gets ticked off. I'm done. I move on. No. We want to make sure you're actually doing it. You're growing and you're implementing the feedback that we gave you before.
And I want to speak into that, like the growing side of things. And the whole journey is about growth, as not only as a coach, but as a person as well. It's like starting from NLP practitioner, like really looking into like myself, like getting myself sorted out, right? Like, I think that's, as coaches, we also be that for ourselves, like to be that vessel, to be that space for our clients. And of course, it doesn't help if we also get triggered while our clients are getting, and we
Well,
work
we've
on
got
ourselves. So
tools
that's,
for that.
yeah, exactly, right. So we learn to handle ourselves, to so that kind of like progresses slowly, and then yeah, and then coming up to coaching foundations, the certification. And yes, definitely I had to redo some of my submissions, and I didn't feel like it was a bad thing. I felt it was a great thing because
Yeah.
I got amazing feedback to really improve, like knowing that that was done because it's really to support me to
Right.
become the best coach that I can be. And that's from my experience. And so that's, I
Yeah.
love the whole process, the support, the structures that was built. And like what you said, it's not like it's hard. I think for me, and this is my own mindset, because definitely different people will have different states that they go into this program. For me, I was like really, really committed to complete, the program within 6 months. I was like setting
Yeah.
my, I
You did
need to be
good.
the fastest one to. And COVID happened, right? And then it's like, it was delayed, but that was my mentality. Like I was really committed in going through this, getting what I need to get in order to become a great coach and get certified, because of that. And so it was like a match, because that was the intention of, but
Right.
that's what the intention of the program was, and how you created it.
Yeah.
And so that's amazing. And
Yeah.
could you speak more about, like, I know we kind of like talk about a lot of the things, and how comprehensive, how diverse NLP is, and to be able to give all these tools. And before I kind of like ask more details in like how they can get more information around this, is I want to ask one other question, which is, because of this diversity, because of this comprehensiveness, what are the avenues that NLP can actually help? Like
Yeah.
specifically, like this, I can, as a coach, I can help people with this, I can help people with this, I can.
How long you got?
I love that. um
Go. Yes. Yes. That is a question. Wow. We have coaches who, and personally as well, everything: business coaching, relationship coaching, wellness coaching, lifestyle coaching. You can help people to stop smoking and drinking and work with addictions. You can help people boost their confidence. You can help people create new businesses. I know someone, and she works directly with multi-level marketing people and helps them to boost their confidence and their motivation to go and talk to their friends about, you need to come into my Amway business, or whatever it is. But they utilize it in their upline and downline. Embrace it. Business coaching, communication skills, how to build rapport, how to understand oneself better, how to, anxiety, depressions, fears, phobias, ultimately anything that you might go and see a traditional coach for, a traditional counselor, psychologist for, you can work with an NLP coach for. So that makes it endless.
mm,
I know, one of our colleagues, she works financially. And so she's a
mm,
financial coach. And I know quite a few financial coaches that help people get out of their mindset of limitation and lack when it comes to finances. But the same is true for love and health and happiness.
mm.
So it's a hard question to answer, because
It's
the
easy and
list
it's
is
hard.
unlimited. But it almost becomes like, if someone has a dream of, I want to be more blank,
Mm,
or I want to be less blank, NLP can help us become more or less, because we're working directly with the unconscious patterns of emotions, beliefs, and behaviors to get our clients to where they want to get to.
yeah. That's a great answer, by the way.
Good.
That's a great answer to a very difficult question. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that. And so now like to end off, I want to like ask, how like to the listeners, if I want to really pursue like to become a great coach, how do I get in touch? What are do you have trainings, upcoming trainings?
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
what is the best way to get in touch with you or
Yeah.
NLP?
Yeah. So head to the website nlpworldwide.com. And from there, you can navigate to either becoming a coach or just general NLP. There's a few downloads you can get there. There's a variety of videos and things like that. You can also schedule a call with one of our team and have a chat to us about what's going on, what you want. We have a training needs analysis that I think is on the bottom of every page on our website, where you're chatting to myself or Tammy or Bianca or Lorelei and our team and figuring out what do you want. And really we're figuring out that NLP formula of where are you now, what do you want? Are there any interferences standing in your way, and what resources do you need to get there? And we want to see, is one of those resources the skills and tools of NLP? And if so, then let's talk about the program. Let's make sure that the program fits for what you're looking for personally and professionally, and go from there. So we run our coach certifications or our NLP training in Singapore, in Sydney, US, and online. And thanks to COVID, we've have the new certification programs that's internationally recognized, and I'm more and more I'm loving those trainings. The in person or online, to me it makes no difference. The skills are transferable, and having that ability to learn and grow from wherever you are is amazing. I know your audience isn't just one place,
Yep.
it's global. And so having that opportunity to do that globally, or do a training in Singapore and in Sydney and online, mix it up, shake it
Yeah.
up, do whatever works. The quickest somebody's gone through the full coach certification was not Jovan. I think Karen did it in just over 4 months, but most people take about 8 to 10 months to finish the entire program. And there's a lot of support. It's not a completely self-paced program. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of teamwork. We've got practice groups regularly that people go in and work on their coach building blocks and record things together and do those lessons and benchmark each other's things. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of growth, and it's a lot of learning, but a lot of benefit.
Definitely, definitely. I totally agree with that. And it's really a journey.
Yes.
Really a journey. Thank you so much. And do you have any maybe final words to our listeners, to the coaches out there or wannabe coaches?
Yeah.
And yeah,
I would say that if you are a coach or you want to be a coach, thank you, because this world needs you. The world needs people who will support and help and listen. You don't have the answers for your clients, even if you think you do. Your clients have the answers. Help them to harness their answers. You know as well as I do, and I'm speaking to you, Jovan, and anybody listening and watching, that even when somebody tells you what to do, you'll probably do your own thing. So as a coach, you have a beautiful job to help make this world a better place. And thank you for doing that. NLP will help you do it even more and even better.
yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being
My
here
pleasure.
again.
My pleasure.
And again, like if you want to know more, head on to nlpworldwide.com. I'll put that in the show notes as well. And if you want to follow Heidi, she's also in social media. She has her, YouTube. Uh, she has her own Facebook as well. And I think you're also in Instagram.
Yep, I am. Yeah, I
And,
would say the Facebook, if anybody, not Facebook, YouTube, if you do YouTube and like those videos, that's a great place to learn more about NLP. You'll even see on there's a variety of coaching sessions. I think Jovan, you might even be a client on one of
yeah,
those coaching
I was
sessions or
there.
two of those. Yes. And you can see the initial client intake and then the subsequent client intake, and actually see NLP in action. So the YouTube channel is a really good place to learn a little bit more.
Wonderful, wonderful. So a lot of content that can help you about, like helping you in this journey of coaching. So thank you so much, Heidi.
Pleasure.
I
Thank you
appreciate I
for your time.
appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you do in this world. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Back at you.
Bye, everyone. I'll see you
See
in the
ya.
next episode.